What I didn't expect after a domestic violence relationship, that starts with a story. So if you're concerned about being triggered, please move right along. This is a real story from my past, and I'll be brief about it. It all started 2012. It did not start in 2012. It started way before that. There was an argument in 2012 in the house, and I can't say what the argument was about because you truly couldn't even call it an argument. It wasn't two sides fighting. It was him being drunk and angry that either I cleaned the truck and misplaced something of his, or he wasn't ready to eat when dinner was ready, so he wanted to eat at midnight and the food was cold. Whatever the case was, he had a reason in his mind to be upset and very angry with me. And we were staying in his family's house. There was people sleeping downstairs. We were upstairs. On the other side of the house, there was a few more bedrooms with more couples sleeping there, and the house was full of people. And we had this argument going on. And I thought it would be safe if I ran and hid in the furthest bedroom from where he was. I locked the door, pulled the blankets over myself, thinking maybe there's a chance he'll just go to sleep and leave me alone. And he did not. So he found me. He came straight to the door and was banging on the door. And this is the part of the story that I want you to hear. My heart was racing. I'm overcome with fear. And I'm clearly anxious. A lot of underlying depression going on. Not going to sleep well. If I wasn't trying to hold it all in, I would be screaming. And a lot is happening in my body and in my mind. Truly one of those fight or flight situations, as if you're running from a bear. And this is just a normal occurrence in our marriage. And the crazy part is, I didn't know what domestic violence really was. I didn't think I was being abused. So here we were. I'm under the blankets over my face, praying to God like a little child that would protect me from his wrath. And maybe the lock would help too on the door, but it didn't. So he broke through that door, pounded through with his anger and broke through it, yanked me out of the covers, dragged me across the house, threw me into our bed, and told me that I was his wife and I would sleep next to him or I'd get out. So I lay there still, terrified of what repercussions would come if I said or did anything, if I even breathed. So I held my breath until he fell asleep. And I cried in silence, as I did almost every single night. But I thought, that's an interesting idea. What if I did leave? So the next day, I did leave. For the first time. I went back after that. That was just the first time I left. And here's the point of this story. It is not a woe is me story. It is not for sympathy or pity. It is to understand. It's to understand that we women who have gone through intimate partner violence, it's like you've been living with a bear, right? Who's been trying to attack you. Your body sees it that way. You're in danger. So when you get out of the relationship, your brain has been trained how to react, how to respond, and look for the tiniest triggers. And what I didn't expect when I left him for the last time was that my brain and my body would continue feeling as if I was with him. I would feel the same amount of fear and pain and anxiety and depression and panic attacks and nightmares and night terrors, and all of it was still there. I didn't expect that. What I did get was incredible amounts of joy and happiness for the freedom I felt from being away from him. There was a long period of overcoming the trauma bonding where I really felt like I was going to die if I didn't go back to him. Like a drug, I felt like I needed a hit so bad until it finally passed. And what I really want you to know is that all of these symptoms that we experience are absolutely normal when you're in the relationship, when you're in a dangerous situation. When you get out of the relationship, it is absolutely normal because it's trauma, right? It is just a normal response to what we've been through. And the important part that took me so long to discover was that it's not a life sentence. That these things, excuse me, I've got a little tickle in my throat. These symptoms that we experience from trauma, they're not a life sentence. They're absolutely something we can overcome. And if you look at it like this is the result of the relationship that you've trained your brain and body to react this way, then you simply can train your brain and body to know that it's safe. It takes some time, but you'll realize that you're safe and you can overcome all of these. PTSD, nightmares, sleep terrors, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, the overwhelming amount of fear, the loneliness, the hidden pain and insecurities, low self-worth, all of that is something that we can dive into to pursue our healing and uncover just how incredible we really are, and realizing how to separate what they've told us and what is actually true, and just being able to find that alignment with who you really are, with your truth, and the knowing of just how valuable you are. And that is powerful. That is where healing begins. And I just want to encourage you that there is hope for an absolutely thriving, healthy, safe, abundant, and emotionally free life after abuse. No matter the symptoms, no matter the diagnoses, right? All of the stuff that when you're in that relationship and they call that just a normal reaction. You get out of the relationship, they give you all these diagnoses. You've got chronic PTSD, you've got panic attack disorder, you've got chronic depression. All the things that they suddenly label, which are normal in the relationship, it's simply because you're still reacting out of as if you were in the relationship. And there's so much wisdom and education and tools to help you overcome all of that. So this is just a little message of hope. I hope that there are women out there who wanted to hear this, who needed to hear this, and to know that you are capable, powerful, and worthy of a great life. And don't stop pursuing it. You got this.